Welcome to InFROmation, part of the Froeducation series where learning is natural. Sponsored by Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon, I'm your host, Ayaba Griffin. And today I'm going to be discussing going natural. What's your method? What method are you going to use to go back to your natural hair? And this is something that you need to think about before you get into the process of going natural or transitioning back to your natural hair. And there are a few ways that you can do this. The first way is that you can just get your hair cut off short. You can get the chemically treated hair just cut out and cut off of your head and be done with it. Now, this is for the individual who does not mind having short hair. You don't have a problem with your facial shape and just seeing more of your facial features, and you have enough confidence to wear your hair short or wear your hair very, very low on your head. This method is for you. If you have a problem with your hair being short, then this is not the method for you. But this is a way that you can go back to natural very, very quickly. You can just cut all the relaxed hair out. If you have a relaxer, if you have a soft curl permanent, also known as a jerry curl, if you have hair color in your hair, if you have a texturizer or a keratin straightening treatment in your hair, all of those things are considered chemicals. And if you have them on your head, your hair is chemically treated. So if you just want to get all of those things, any or all of those things out of your hair very quickly, then just cutting all of your hair off is the method for you. You can do it yourself if you want to, if you have the ability to do that. If you want to take a pair of clippers and just shave it off, some people do it that way. Some people don't want to do it that way, and they go to a barber or a hairstylist like myself, and they get all of the chemically treated hair cut off of their head. So, like I said, once again, this is the method for people who don't have a problem with wearing their hair short. Okay? If you have a problem with that or you want to retain your length, then that's not the method for you. Another way that you can do it is that you can transition, or you can allow that hair, that chemically treated hair, to slowly grow out of your head. Okay? This is for the people who want to keep their length. This is for the people who, maybe you have really long hair and you're like, there is no way that I'm going to wear my hair short. Then this is the method for you. You can allow your chemically treated hair to grow out. Allow those chemicals to grow out, whatever type of chemical you may have in your hair, and you just slowly let it grow out. Now, when you decide to use this method, it can take anywhere from a year to 2 years, depending on how long or short your hair is. And so it is a very slow process. But there are people out there who will rather take that process than get all of their hair cut off. So when you decide to do that, you need to make the decision. Are you going to do that by yourself, or are you going to allow those chemicals to grow out of your hair by yourself, or are you going to seek out the help of a hairstylist like myself, who help people to be able to go back to natural and maintain their natural hair once that particular goal is achieved? You have to ask yourself that question. And how are you going to wear your hair during those different stages and phases of the transition? Okay, so you have to ask yourself that question. You have to do your research, and a lot of this depends on you, what you want to do, what you're able to deal with, what you're able to stand. Okay, so that's one way, just letting it grow out naturally. Then another way is that you can do a combination of the two. That's what I did. I actually allowed my hair to transition for about 6 months, but also during that 6-month span of time, I cut my hair about 2 inches off each month as I was going along. And so it was a combination of the two. Then it got to the point where It was spring, summertime, and it was, hot and humid, and those straight ends on the ends of my hair were just sticking up all over the place. And I had two different textures on my head, and I just cut the rest of the straight ends, the relaxed ends, completely off of my hair. So my hair, was short, but it wasn't shaved down, very, very close to my head. So I did a combination of the two. You can also get your hair braided. Some people actually get their own hair braided and wear their hair in a protective style, or sometimes people get braided extensions where they wear their hair like that throughout the whole transition process, so that they don't have to worry about how it looks, or spend a whole lot of time thinking about whether their hair is doing okay while they're transitioning. And they can wear their hair in different styles, putting their hair up, wearing it down, while they're growing their hair out from the chemically treated state, and it's going back to that natural state. Now, if you're going to, get your hair braided, whether it's just getting your own natural hair braided, the hair that's growing out of your head, or whether you plan on, getting extensions put in, extension braids put in, you still have to take care of your hair. Okay, you have to make sure that it is getting treated, it's getting shampooed, it's getting conditioned, it's getting trimmed as needed, and that you find a good stylist who is really good with putting in extension braids, installing them properly, who cares about your hairline, and so that you don't end up with traction alopecia as you're going through that process. Okay, so those are some of the ways that you can use to go back to your natural hair. What method that you use depends totally on you. It depends on your personality, it depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your ability to do your own hair. It depends on whether you don't want to do it at all for yourself, and you just go into a barber or a hairstylist who's going to help you during this transition process in some way, shape, or form, whether it's doing your haircut for you, or whether it's them styling your hair in particular styles, giving you conditioning treatments, whatever the situation may be, to help you get through the process and getting back to your natural hair. So it really depends on you how you do it. You really have to think about this. You really have to do your homework. You really have to do your research. And then once you do that, make that decision on which method you're going to use. Like I said, I used a combination of cutting my hair and transitioning. That may be for you. Some people may think right off the bat, I'm just going to go and get, braids put in and let it grow out that way. And like I said, I did a combination of the two, but I wore my hair curly. I set my hair a lot during that process, so that you really couldn't tell that there were two different textures on my head at that particular time. And I suggest that you start the process in the winter time, where you're not sweating as much and it's not as much humidity, especially if you plan on transitioning and just allowing those chemicals to grow out of your hair, so that you can be able to keep your styles looking good during the transition process. If you started in the summertime, then you're going to be relegated to probably, just cutting it off, or getting your hair braided with the extensions, or just keeping your hair in protective styles. That's going to be totally up to you. But these are just some recommendations to help you be successful if you make that decision to go natural. These are things that you really need to know and to understand before you jump right into it. Because I've had so many people to tell me, oh, I just did it, or I just cut my hair off, or I started going natural, and they're not happy because they didn't do their homework, they didn't do their research, they just kind of jumped into it without much thought behind it. And this is very much a change in lifestyle and a way of life that you're going to be living. So you need to really think about what method you're going to use to go back to your natural hair. So I just want to thank you for joining me for InFROmation, part of the Froeducation series, where learning is natural, sponsored by Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon. I'll see you next time.